The Angry Marks Podcast Network is brought to you by WrestleWork, a social network to connect, create, and share everything about pro wrestling. Check it out today at WrestleWork.com.
You're listening to the SmackDown RunDown on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome to the SmackDown Rundown on AngryMarks.com. I am your host, for now, Jordan Garber, and I am here as well with my co-host, Rob. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, everybody. The one you love to hate is here. Rob the Medi is in the house to bringing you the SmackDown Rundown.
And we have a lot to discuss. Like, WrestleMania is coming up soon. A lot of stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling, especially on SmackDown. So let's get right to it. SmackDown got started, and they started the show, and they had hashtag yes, 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 meaning that Daniel Bryan was in the ring cutting a promo. He's talking about the Intercontinental title, saying that the greats have held it. Like the Dragon Steamboats, the Shawn Michaels, the Hockey Talk Mans, all these legends holding this belt. Now we have Wade Barrett who comes out. Not only does Wade Barrett come out, Dolph Ziggler comes out, and then Luke Harper comes out, and then Dean Ambrose comes out, and of course Stardust comes out. But we get the catch here. All of these guys cut little promos when they come out. But R-Truth comes out with the championship belt. What did you think about this opening segment on SmackDown?
I was kind of puzzled, actually, why. I mean, I get they didn't want it to be a super long promo, but why everybody else got sufficiently less time than Daniel Bryan. I mean, Wade barely got maybe a few words in before he was interrupted. Ziggler did a little bit more than Barrett, and then he got interrupted. Harper basically said one word, and then the next guy came out. I mean, we kind of saw this last week. It seems to me like they're using SmackDown to build a majority of this match to build the anticipation for the WrestleMania match. So it seems like while they have addressed it on Raw, it seems like they're really giving it a key focus here on SmackDown.
For sure. And I liked how the opening segment went, especially when all the guys came out, they got their promo, and then R-Truth comes out with the title and gets the last word. That's a cool thing. I like.
Yeah, the only thing it was missing, though, was Teddy Long to come out and make a 6-man tag for the main event. That's the only thing that's really missing.
Yeah, we need Teddy Long back, because that would have been a perfect spot for Teddy Long to get involved in announcing the 6-man tag team match main event.
So this next part, I just want to take a time out, and I want to allow you a chance to say I called it. I want you to tell me that I was right, that I called it. I want you to just kind of give me a little applause here, because I called it. I told you so.
I kudos to you, man. Like you said what you said last week, and you were right. So I do applaud you for that, and probably a lot of people listening do as well.
Oh, I am that guy who will always tell somebody I told you so. It drives my friends nuts. But the next part was the Usos, the Matadors, New Day, and Cesaro Kid. The weird part here for me, Justin, was that when we joined this, when they first teased this match, the Usos, Matadors, New Day were all in the ring together. So I thought maybe they were going to introduce maybe 3 heel tag teams, maybe Ascension, Cesaro and Kid, and I don't even know if there's another tag team to be thrown in there, but somebody. And no, the Cesaro and Kid were the only ones to get an entrance, and then the Usos and New Day were ostensibly the babyface tag team, as they shared one side of the ring, and then Cesaro and Kid teamed up with the Matadors as, I guess, ostensibly the heel group. For sure. I loved this match. I loved how it went. Like Rob, you were just saying, the Usos versus Los Matadores versus the New Day versus, of course, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. And I love the high spots that
I love the spot that Xavier Woods did when he, there's that double suicide. Actually, no, that was the main event. Xavier Woods did a amazing spot there in that match. He flew over the top rope, and then, of course, in that match, Los Matadores grabbed the tights and got the victory for that match.
It was a good match. I mean, I think it was the best match of the night. My only complaint about this match is it was a bit of a sloppy backstabber from the one Matador to get the victory. It looked like they were maybe a bit rushed here at the end, so maybe in the actual airing when they recorded this match, maybe the match went a little long and they were told to abruptly cut it, and maybe that was why the pace increased and it got a little sloppy towards the end. But other than that, I thought it was a really probably the best match of the night.
I thought it was great. And I'm not going to really say it was the best match of the night, but it was probably the second best match of the night. But
Drew my attention.
I love how it went, though.
But it looks like I'm right on this one. It looks like they are building to some sort of multi-team, tag team title match at Mania in some way, shape, or form.
That would be good to see. It's so good to see. We already have the 6-man Intercontinental Championship match, and to have a multi-man tag team match, that would add to the excitement, in my opinion. So that would be great to see for sure. So we go on to the next segment. The Miz cuts a promo with Damien Mizdow. And we have a quick match here between Miz and Ryback, and of course Ryback wins with his shell shock. But what did you think about this match? It was a quick match, just pretty much a filler match for the show. Your thoughts on it?
The most important thing to note is that basically Miz banned Mizdow from ringside for this match. So
I guess so.
It was just a continuation of the storyline.
Just another, like I said, and that's what I was saying earlier, just another filler match for the show. So
yep.
But like I said, it was a good match, but not great match. It's just a good, solid filler match. So that's a good thing. The next segment happens as Roman Reigns comes out. Actually, before he came out, there was a big promo about Paul Heyman shooting on him. What was I saying? There was a promo that Paul Heyman was doing with Brock Lesnar on Raw, addressing Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns comes out on SmackDown, and of course, we see the return of Mark Henry. And Mark Henry's taunting Roman Reigns, saying how he can't do it, he can't beat Brock Lesnar. And as he was doing that, Roman Reigns tried to walk away from the situation, and Mark Henry continued to taunt him. So in return, Roman Reigns gave Mark Henry a Superman punch, and he didn't stop there. He speared Mark Henry right through the barricade. What do you think about seeing Mark Henry's return to the WWE?
He's lost a lot of weight. He looks relatively somewhat in shape. I mean, unfortunately, the age is a bit of an issue, so he's not going to be a super huge piece of WWE. But, I mean, I think he's good to feed to maybe Reigns next week in a match. I mean, I would like to see that, kind of give Reigns another singles match, kind of give him somebody big to destroy. I thought the most interesting part about the segment, though, was Reigns kind of addressing Heyman's weird racist remark about how they were only 3 generations for being cannibals. I don't think he came out strong enough. I think he should have maybe actually just straight out called Paul racist, because I think that would have made the storyline a lot more real, and it would have gave Paul Heyman something to really kind of respond to this upcoming week. I thought, Reigns still isn't completely comfortable, but I mean, in a pre-recorded environment, he wasn't too bad. I think he could have just hit that point a little bit better. He kind of blew it off a little too much. Kind of snorted at it and said, I don't even know what that means. I think he could have came out stronger against that. It could have maybe baby-faced himself and at least put Heyman in an awkward position for future promos.
For sure. We go on to our next segment as Paige and AJ, like I said, another filler match. Oh my God, I can't even talk today. Paige and AJ defeated Cameron and Summer Rae, and then a kind of, not really a brawl, but a little war of words, and then some separating goes on between, I think it was Paige and Nikki Bella. So,
well, yes, I mean, it's official Paige and AJ versus the Bellas at WrestleMania for the women's match. So, I mean, they're using this to build to that.
what I want to see differently is, like, why don't we see a Divas title match at WrestleMania? I don't get that.
Because it's the same philosophy as the IC and the tag team belt. They simply want to get as many people on the show as they can without leaving too many people off. And I guess they feel like both Bellas deserve a spot in Mania, and that even though AJ has been gone for some big doses of the year, Paige definitely deserves to be there. But AJ's a big name, so she kind of deserves the spot too. I guess that's why they're doing it this way. I mean, I agree with you. I'd rather see, maybe AJ versus Nikki in a title match, or even better, debuting Charlotte versus Nikki.
Well, if we see Charlotte debut, we're not going to see her debut at WrestleMania for the win. That's crazy.
I mean, but that would be a perfect way to launch somebody. I mean, besides Raw, I mean, where are you going to get the most eyes on a pay-per-view? Mania gets bought by close to 1.5 million people just about every year. I mean, since The Rock's and Cena's first matchup, at least. So, I mean, that's about half of their audience of Raw. So, I mean, I understand waiting to Raw, but I mean, it's something that maybe later, if Charlotte was a really good diva, that they could say about her when they induct her into the Hall of Fame, would be like, hey, she made her debut at WrestleMania. I mean, how many other people could say that? So.
Exactly. And Fandango, whatever. Fandango made his WrestleMania debut in his first match in WWE. Well, as the Fandango character, obviously he's wrestled with Johnny Curtis before. But if you kind of want to go back in time, it has happened before. Fandango has said that I'm going to make my debut at WrestleMania against Chris Jericho, and Fandango defeated Chris Jericho in a winning effort.
Fan Wango Tango, Fan Dingo ate my baby-o, Fan B-I-N-G Bingo was his name-o. Oh!
Oh my god, okay, well, you guys can obviously go on. All the Angry Marks fans can say that Jordan Garber cannot pronounce the name of Fandango. So we'll go on here.
The next part was interview with Michael Cole with Randy Orton, probably taped sometime during Raw. I thought it was interesting, again, I think they made Seth look like a complete doofus for this build, but I mean, it is what it is. It's on the undercard. It really doesn't matter.
We go to the next segment, and this segment is really interesting to me. This is totally about putting people over. Mark Henry cuts a promo. Well, not really. Renee Young comes in to the trainer's room.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And Mark Henry says that he says he's not sure that Reigns will beat Lesnar, but he believes he can. So he was testing Reigns. Apparently, what Mark Henry was saying, he was testing Roman Reigns. So, that's kind of a cool thing that he did, just kind of weird and wacky, but all in all, it's a good promo, I thought. When we go straight to our main event, we have Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, and Dolph Ziggler going against Wade Barrett, Stardust, and Luke Harper, and this match was fantastic. Before I give you guys my take on it, what did you think?
It was okay. I mean, I thought it was kind of slow in some spots. I thought the other tag match was a little bit better, in my opinion. I like all these guys. They didn't do anything to really kind of blow me out of water.
Well, they did do that double suicide dive with the Luke Harper boot and the power bomb. That was a cool spot.
Yeah, but I've seen similar spots done in NXT. A tope really doesn't get too much but a shrug from me at this point. Because, I mean, it's really overused in NXT. And actually, a lot of people are using it in WWE. Both Usos do it. A lot of people are now doing the running and dive over the top rope. Even Reigns did it one week randomly. So, I mean, topes just don't really do a lot for me.
No, exactly. Well, you have a point there, and I kind of get to what you're saying. But I still thought the match had some good spots. I thought it was a good, decent main event, maybe like a 4-star match.
But considering the guys involved, I mean, I maybe we could have got maybe more a bit of a show of the talent. I mean, Stardust is a great worker. I mean, him and Dean, Dolph, or Bryan could like tear the house down. And Harper, I mean, he's not a traditional worker like those four, but I mean, he has his style. I just think that maybe they could have done maybe something a little bit more interesting during this matchup to differentiate themselves from the other tag match. This kind of flowed like pretty much a normal tag, just with better star power. And that's all I'm saying is there's just one real high spot, one that's I feel is kind of overused in WWE right now. That's my only complaint. Like I said, it's probably the second best match of the card for me, and I don't think we're really disagreeing that much on the match. It's just you liked it a little bit better than I did.
Well, the problem is the end of the match, where they all cut promos and they end up saying that Daniel Bryan's a turd. It's like, will you end a show like that? Are you kidding me? Why would you end a show like that? That's just random and childish.
It was a very weird thing from Dean. Dean's like usually gold for coming up with something off the wall that, like, on his face kind of seems not to make sense, but kind of like makes you enjoy his promo. And he didn't deliver that here. He delivered a line that felt really like it's like if you're like at a party and somebody just puts the music to a scratching halt, they make that sound. That's what this was. It was just like kind of a fart in the middle of like a really classy dinner. And it's just like, I mean, I felt like I went from, kind of quasi enjoying a, kind of a recap filled SmackDown with a couple decent matches to all of a sudden I'm being treated like a 5-year-old that I can't hear the word, like a more intense insult than you're a turd. And then not only did he do that, he said, Daniel Bryan, you're a turd, and his music hits as he walks out. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, why would you end a show like that? I was puzzling. I mean, from the report that I read, I mean, live, at least Daniel Bryan got a chance to kind of ask the crowd, am I a turd? And the crowd chanted no. So I'm not quite sure why they didn't include that at the end. I don't know. I guess it's because it's PG, so never know. I mean, like I said, I think it's building the Intercontinental. I think SmackDown's basically being used to build the IC title match in importance. So basically that's what they're using SmackDown for. They're going to probably use SmackDown next week mostly for building towards Mania. Probably going to be a very recap-heavy show. If anything, I could see them maybe giving the Divas like a real hard focus, considering they still haven't quite jumped that up to the level of a Mania match just yet. They've been kind of teasing. I feel like they need something to kind of jump that feud up in more importance. And next week we should have a definitive answer whether or not I am right that there's going to be a multi-team tag team title match at Mania. For sure. I completely agree with you. So, anything else there, Justin? Well, pretty much we went through it all here. Overall, just to cover the last part of SmackDown, what would you give, like, say it's out of 5 stars, what would you give this week's episode of SmackDown out of 5? I mean, even though there's 2 good matches, I really wasn't super into it. I don't really know why. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for wrestling tonight. But I would probably give it like a 3, somewhere in the middle. You said 3, and I'm going to give it the same grade. I give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a decent show, but nothing great. But all in all, decent show, and that's good in the least. That will do it for the SmackDown Rundown this week on AngryMarks.com. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, @GeorgeJGarber, and check out all of the other shows on AngryMarks.com as well. Any last words for you, Rob? I have a feeling next week we're basically mostly going to be talking about the builds to all the matches and hitting those and hammering those home, because I don't think we're going to have a whole lot more to talk about next week. So, well, I'm looking forward to next week. I'm sure everyone listening here on AngryMarks.com is as well. And we'll watch SmackDown so you don't have to. Exactly. So, thank you guys for listening to the SmackDown Rundown. Take it easy.
Chris, your thoughts on tonight's triple threat match?
Here's a thought.
I have held the Intercontinental Championship more than any other superstar in the history of the WWE ever! 9 times! And I have the chance to make it 10. And what momentum to have going into WrestleMania. The biggest night of the year. The night when everybody wants to make the biggest impact they can make. The showcase of the Immortals. From The Undertaker to The Rock to Y to J to every single... got something to say, Junior? I didn't catch your name. It's Fandango. Fandumbo. Fandunghole. Fandumbo. Fandunghole. Fanjango. Fandangler. Fandodge Durango. Fan Sweet Mango. Fan Wango Tango. Fandingo like my baby-o. Fan B-I-N-G Bingo was his name-o. Oh! Very funny, Christopher. You will learn to pronounce my name properly. Don't go away. I didn't get my movie